For you to truly understand the significance of what happened, you have to think of it like this. What would you think if today PewDiePie was suddenly banned from YouTube, and both YouTube and PewDiePie gave absolutely no explanation as to why that was? Hey everyone, you might have noticed something different about today. No, it's not my terrible haircut, it's the fact that this isn't actually being broadcast live. Now, that's not because I want to try and riff a little bit better with the improv-y without an audience somehow. No, as you can see, I'm clearly nailing this. It's because the person we're going to be talking about today, Dr.Disrespect, is actually banned from Twitch. So the mere act of me playing clips and videos from him could, in theory, get me suspended as a Twitch streamer. So I'm not going to be doing that. I've already experienced that once with Vosh. And if the word Vosh or Dr.Disrespect or anything I've said so far sounds entirely foreign to you, don't worry. You're just not extremely online, and that's probably a good thing. I mean, if the sentence, I think Thought Slime and Vosh should be friends, sounds like complete gibberish to you, that's again because these are all mostly online personalities, but we are going to be talking about one of the most famous ones because this news and this story is too fascinating to ignore, especially from someone who likes to analyze popular culture as well as, inflate his own ego by thinking that he actually does some kind of analysis of sociology when really just talking about internet drama. It's basically a low-tier Keemstar who has some kind of inflated ego. So, Keemstar. Hey, Dr.Disrespect. The quote-unquote face of Twitch. I mean, according to him, that's his own title. He, in technicality, I believe, was about the 24th most popular streamer on the platform, and he has just been recently banned from the platform. The reason this is, well, fascinating to say the very least, is a host of things. One, this happened during one of the most significant Me Too, let's just say, blowouts that has ever happened to an online platform in general. I think it's probably something that's rife within the industry, but right now Twitch is having a reckoning in that arena. Second, there was no reason given whatsoever by both Twitch and Dr.Disrespect as to why he was suddenly banned from the platform. We don't know if it was for something he had done, a DMCA attack, anything of that nature. And as of this recording, he recently made a tweet stating that he himself does not know why he was banned, to even further add to the bizarre strangeness of this. Stay tuned, because not only am I going to go through this entire story and explain what all these terms mean, in case any of this is very confusing to you, I'm also going to explain to you why it just seems to get more and more fascinating. Another thing that might make you feel a little bit old is if you don't understand the concept of creepypastas. I mean, creepypastas are essentially ghost stories on the internet, and they're told through a variety of different mediums. One of the most fascinating ones for me is a game you see before you called Petscop. Now, Petscop isn't a real PlayStation game. It is a fake game that was created by someone who's trying to tell a very, very scary story, and one that is incredibly intricate. You have to understand, in the olden days, if you were to tell a scary story, all you have to really do is sit down in front of a campfire, not be a pedophile, and surround yourself by children and tell a spooky story where you turn the flashlight off and turn it on to the effect of blah. Nowadays, it requires so much more work. Someone spent the time to program, design, do the graphics for it, the music for this very convincing looking PlayStation 1 generation video game. The video game seems somewhat harmless, kind of a Pokemon capture game, except it's got a very sinister storyline that is very, very horrifying. The game isn't available publicly, so this goes to the extra layer of someone creating a YouTube channel in which they do a let's play of a game they found, and then everything just starts to become darker and darker after that. It's fascinating because no one truly knows the answers to it right now. No one knows if this game is real or not. It's most likely not. I'm just going to be honest. Like, ghosts aren't real, everybody. So, I mean, there's an easy solution to the Occam's razor of that situation. But it is fascinating just because it's neat and creepy, and the acting is so convincing in the Let's Play that you never would think that someone is actually putting on a whole bit where they're trying to convince you that they found this game for the first time, they're playing it for the first time, and all of a sudden it's just becoming more and more creepy as they go along. It's because, I guess, of that effort that things like this get millions and millions of views, and the mysteriousness of it, just trying to be the Hardy Boys behind this whole situation and figure out what exactly happened. I can understand the appeal of those kind of phenomena. So let's explore. Why don't we first explain who Dr.Disrespect is and why exactly I would theoretically propose he was fired from the platform.
You gotta understand. You gotta attack. 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 Ah! Certain individuals you don't attack, you run from. I'm talking, if I see you, and believe me, I will, I'll put you down quickly.
No! Like, don't you know you're going against the best sniper in the game? Huh? Violence, speed, momentum. Whatever game that I'm playing.
So as you can see from this, Dr. Disrespect is a larger-than-life online gaming personality on the Twitch platform. His persona basically combines a lot of the elements of trash-talking and a 80s new wave kind of retro aesthetic. The whole thing combines into quite an entertaining spectacle, and there's a reason why someone like this has grown as quickly as he has to become one of the most prominent and famous streamers on the internet. If you don't understand the phenomenon of watching other game streamers or gamers in general, don't feel weird. I don't either. It's just not my thing. I'm somebody who, if I was at my friend's house, would want to play the game and not just watch them play, right? But for a lot of people online, they enjoy the aspect of watching a really, really good gamer play for a number of reasons. One, there's a parasocial relationship, obviously, so they feel that they're hanging out with one of their close friends. The other aspect that these people are very talented at doing something that not a lot of other entertainers do, and that is they are very, very skilled at online gaming, competitive gaming, esports, if you will. Especially, like, some of them are very, very skilled at a certain specific game. They're also very good at both playing that game and being entertainers simultaneously, as you can see that. See, I can't even do one right now. I'm having difficulty speaking, and like, imagine me trying to play whatever game this is. It's Halo, I know. Okay, I'm not that bad. But anyway, imagine me trying to do that, trying to play a game and at the same time provide you with any kind of entertainment. I would be woefully underprepared. I could not do both at the same time. That's what professional and especially famous esport gamers do. Dr. Disrespect's character, again, is one of he will taunt you as he's both killing you, slaughtering you, and or do so afterwards, as well as he grew and became more famous, he added more elements and performative aspects to his entire pastiche. So he would actually arrive in like a really neat retrofitted car, and there would be all these special effects. He'd do everything in front of his green screen. The whole thing almost felt as if you were part of some kind of interactive movie. And again, this is coming to someone who's not a fan of his at all. This is just me having done research on this topic, and now I'm trying to understand why people were so enamored with him and his personality. Seems to be a strange overlap with gamers and right-wing ideology. Now, I'm not saying that this is like an all-encompassing thing. There's obviously a ton of gamers who are not right-wing, and there's a ton of gamers who are very, very... and there's a ton of gamers who further a lot of progressive ideals. I'm not going to lump them all into one thing or do some kind of broad brush. There is a problem, however, with someone with a platform like Dr. Disrespect has, with millions and millions of followers, 30 to 40,000 live viewers for every stream that he would do, and then using his platform to propagate some pretty bad conspiracy theories when it came to 5G.
Just is not paying attention to this. And I will only finish by pointing out that there has been a dramatic and quantum leap in the last 6 months with the electrification of the Earth. And I'm sure a lot of you know what that is. It's called 5G, where they now have 20,000 radiation-emitting satellites, just like the radiation-emitting thing in your pocket and on your wrist and that you use all the time. That is not compatible with health. I'm sorry to say it. It's not compatible with health. That is a water destructuring device. And for any of you who say, yeah, well, we're not electrical beings, we're just physical matter, then don't bother doing an EKG or an EEG or a nerve conduction test, because we are electrical beings and the chemicals are only the byproduct of those electrical impulses. And I'll finish with anybody want to make one guess as to where the first completely blanketed 5G city in the world was. Exactly. So when you start thinking about this, we are in an existential crisis here. That's all.
One of the more prominent ones being the use of a fake Asian language, which he would use to taunt Asian players and or other members that he was gaming against.
$10 is, can you tell me to get a grip in Chinese? Mao ne nama! Depends on, is he in this corner or in the other corner? Let's see. What the hell? Oh!
Found him?
Oh, I almost did it. He's back in this little corner. Huh?
Come in, man. Come down, man. Think about it. Ready? Here we go. 什麼先的come to 先啊？什麼話 come 先？什麼那麼話先咩啊？come 到啊先？收到啊什麼話先啊晒啊？ Right? A lot of S's. Now we can go to the T's. Wait for it. 吐毛啊，空毛啊，吐啊，心頭啊，冇啊，他嘛，吐數到冇啊，聽咪啊，吐啲小咩嘢嘢啊？ Right?
So yeah, there's that. I mean, I think we could do a little bit of who did better performance here.
Mr. Go right through. Someday, Mr. Go right through. What happened to you anyway?
Mickey Rooney, he's a national treasure. And if you're wondering a little bit about why it is problematic to do yellowface, or why yellowface is a deeply entrenched problem in American cinema, it has a lot to do, of course, with the othering or vilification of an entire group of people, using them as either scapegoats, comedic effect. In the case of, say, blackface and Jumping Jim Crow, that personality character was used to vilify African Americans as being animalistic and violent and predatory in nature. So there is a long history in American cinema of either yellowface, blackface, and everything that's wrong with that. And the justification that came from Dr.Disrespect when called out for his racism was as follows.
Look at these no lives. These poor kids that have no lives. I'm so glad I was raised differently. Playing at the highest level of collegiate sports, basketball, being around different people, different ethnicities, growing up in a nice public school system, having good friends from Asian descent, from best friends Mexican, numerous, got friends I can call right now that are multicultural, multiracial. I love it. Mrs. Assassin, my wife, multiracial. All the way from the small island of Molokai. Lots of Filipino blood. I love it. And you got this idiot on Twitter. This idiot searching for this desperate for attention wannabe idiot. Right? Trapped in a box. Trapped in a gated community, a private school, if you will. Clueless. Absolutely clueless. And you know what? We don't pay attention to those guys at all.
So, I mean, this is I have Asian friends, so I can't be racist, and or I have an Asian wife, and I find Asian women attractive, so I can't be racist argument, which, of course, doesn't really hold up to scrutiny. You can still be furthering and propagating racist stereotypes if you yourself are married to an Asian woman and or even are part Asian yourself, if that was the case. This video isn't really about picking apart his history in these kind of scenarios. Again, there's numerous examples between this and him propagating 5G and or Chinese conspiracy theories in relation to coronavirus that I would say are problematic. I don't think, though, that any of this is the reason why he was recently banned from Twitch. There's a lot of speculation as to why exactly he was suddenly let go. I don't also think this has anything to do with the Me Too movement or moment that's happening with Twitch, although the timing is incredibly suspect, that is to say the least. The fact that the company saw fit to suddenly drop a very prominent, if not one of their most famous brand names, right after signing a contract, by the way. He just recently signed a 2-year contract to the tune of millions and millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. So there is a couple of theories, and unfortunately they're boring. This would be so much more interesting if there was something tangibly insidious about this, sinister, if you will. Unfortunately, this could be either a publicity stunt, which I would be very surprised to find out, but I'm seeing rumors and speculation towards that effect, but more likely that he himself is going to be starting his own streaming platform, either with fellow streamers, bigger names like Ninja and other stuff like that. The fact that he's also losing a lot of other sponsors, however, could imply that they are simply getting frightened. There's a flight aspect. They don't want to be associated with someone who might have a huge revelation come out about them, especially if it's something incredibly bad, something to the severity of, I don't know. Again, this is entirely mysterious. There is a third reason, and one that is a little bit more tinfoil hat, but you'll have to bear with me because we're going to delve into this side of the internet for a couple seconds. But in order to truly understand this, you may have to watch the final broadcast that Dr.Disrespect ever did.
With that said, I have yet to see someone that's on my fucking level, baby. Whew. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything. Like, I can't wait till I see. I can't wait till I see that next level. I can't wait. It'll happen. It has to happen. Watch me take over. I love it, man. See the self-confidence in the chat? That's what I'm talking about. The self-confidence of the Champions Club, it's at an all-time high, and don't ever stop. Please, don't ever stop. You got to be strong in this world, man. I was watching, I should just put it on just chatting. I mean, like, I kind of wanted to get off, but now I don't want to get off. I was watching that documentary on, what's this guy? Eike, Icke. Older gentleman. Anybody know who I'm talking about? I forgot his first name. David Icke. Yes, Alex. Yes. I like him. Even if, like, it's like, it just kind of, you know, rather than this, it's on Netflix. I believe it's on Netflix. Or is it Amazon? It's one of the two. It's either Amazon or Netflix. Little documentary on him. It's pretty enlightening. All it allows you to do is just sort of like, you know, allows you to step outside of the box just a little bit. Whether some of the stuff is not true or not, whatever. I think the whole goal, though, is to wake up!
Now, David Icke, if you're unfamiliar, is going to be one of the stranger turns in this story. And the reason I'm going to be using a Rational Wiki article is because all the sources for everything that I'm about to explain will be featured at the bottom of the Rational Wiki article. So if you want evidence or proof towards any of the things that I'm saying, you have but to look at the bottom, and there's going to be numerous verified sources. And I only do that because of the nature of what we're doing right now. And when I'm producing these videos on a regular basis, I do want things that are a little bit more cited than simply saying this is the feels or the reels. But speaking of the feels, you know the lizard people, and you may have heard of the lizard people from our good friend. You love talking about the lizard people. It turns out you didn't invent the lizard people. That's right. You're not the creator or the originator of the whole conspiracy theories surrounding the fact that very prominent politicians and members of the Illuminati or those who are in control of the levers of power happen to actually be lizards. That was David Icke. David Icke is responsible for that. I mean, you're definitely responsible for propagating that theory, just spreading it like wildfire. You are the adrenochrome of the lizard people theory. But no, when it comes down to it, that was David Icke. David Icke is a human singularity of insanity. So he's best known for the reptoid conspiracy theory. He came to fame as an English footballer and sports commentator and used to be the spokesman for the Green Party of England and Wales, but since 1991 has devoted his life to informing the world that is actually secretly controlled by evil, shape-shifting lizard people from the fourth dimension. Genuinely, as you would expect, this makes Poe's Law a pretty big issue on the topic of this guy. Now, the other really frightening thing about David Icke and the fact that you've got someone as prominent as Dr.Disrespect talking about him, especially in his final broadcast ever, is that he's a pretty raging anti-Semite. He has been accused multiple times of anti-Semitism, and he has defended himself, saying that his views on the Jewish people and their relation to his lizard theory are not in any way anti-Semitic, and that they happen to be, well, I mean, I can just let his defense speak for himself. Some people have taken offense to Eike, claiming that the shape-shifting lizard people is a code word for Jews. Eike claims that he's not anti-Semitic, that when he says shape-shifting lizard people, he's quite literally meaning lizards. There's a tribe of people interbreeding, which do not relate to any Earth race. This is not a Jewish plot. This is not a plot on the world by Jewish people. He does believe, however, the virulently anti-Semitic protocols of the Elders of Zion is a true document, although he argues that it is not about Jews, because Jew, ironically given the accusation of the code of anti-Semitism, was supposedly a code for actual lizards. So, again, believing in a very anti-Semitic document, not because it's anti-Semitic, but because the word Jew in that anti-Semitic document happens to be a code for lizards, which, again, keep in mind, the lizards in his theory are not a replacement for Jews. So, hopefully that all checks out. There is, of course, this book that he wrote, which is called Trigger, The Lie That Changed the World, Who Really Did It and Why, that essentially blames 9/11 on the Jews. So there's that. So that's what makes this so incredibly bizarre, is that in this video, this clip, we can see him get what seems to be a text on his phone, and after receiving that text, he becomes noticeably perturbed, to put it kindly. He becomes very, very upset. He changes his persona. He stops being quite as invested in the Dr.Disrespect character and starts to suddenly go on strange, rambling rants about, again, a Holocaust-denying conspiracy theorist and talking about how he likes him. At which point he plays a video in almost complete silence for a handful of minutes and then finishes the video at the very end with, again, the assumption that everything is going to be okay, as if he knows that something really, really bad is about to happen. I mean, I'll let it play out.
The backyard.
Oh, okay.
Okay, who's it?
I appreciate everyone watching
Who's
today.
it in the backyard? Who is going to be
The
looking?
backyard's tough.
we'll
We
get
don't really, like you said, we don't really know some of the.
Yeah,
we'll
we
get
don't
through
know
this
the
Champions
map
Clip.
very well.
I know it's a tough. It's
because I don't know this one well.
life's weird right now.
Yeah, look. Oh,
We'll
it did.
we'll get through this, okay? And
Hey, Christopher.
Dun dun dun! You better not taunt me. How dare you?
fuck.
You get to try it.
I think the whole thing kind of comes down to, I don't think someone like PewDiePie is in the alt-right, as in he goes to alt-right meetings, as in he emails people in the alt-right, as if he goes to 4chan or 8chan or any of the other Chan boards and suddenly starts to talk about how he wants the white race to rise up. I don't think he does any of that. I think he's conservative, and I think he pals around with a lot of conservative figures like Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson, and I think as a result of that, he opens himself sometimes to far-right conservative figures like Stefan Molyneux, who might teach him about things like the Great Replacement theory, and under someone like, Dr.Disrespect in this case, who seems to be interested in a very heavily anti-Semitic author and strangely have these views, which I know he probably doesn't talk about. He remains largely apolitical in his streams, which is of course great if you want to maintain sponsors and millions of dollars and everything that comes from streaming. And yet there are some times when these things start to seep through the cracks, as was the case with his 5G coronavirus conspiracy theories, and or what exactly is happening here, we will never know. Well, hopefully we will. I mean, at this point, everything that we're talking about is speculative, and that's one of the reasons it's just kind of one of those really neat, interesting, and creepy internet conspiracy theories. As of right now, it's kind of like its own creepypasta that's writing itself out in real time. But it is something we should be paying attention to, especially because, again, these are the individuals who have the most reach on the internet. These are the individuals who speak to the youth. These are the individuals who speak to just the throngs of impressionable, mostly white, online teens and kids who are growing up and who are looking towards these kind of people as heroes and figures. And if they're going to be doing that, we should also understand what it is that they not only believe, but are trying to indoctrinate children into.
Before we bombard you with all of our shameless links, we want you to bombard us. Do you have a worker co-op business or local union you'd like us to advertise at the end of our episode for free? So, if you'd like ears on your worker co-op, go down to weareserfs.com. And while you're there, join the Discord because it's filled with righteous guys, gals, and MPals. Finally, come check us out on Twitch Live 5 days a week by going to twitch.tv/the Serfs TV. Yeah. To our lords, Ricky Pilgrim, I'm Raft, Tomospone, Ninetails Cosmic Fox, Hans Josephine, and Corpse Harvester, we bow meekly for your pleasure. To our Knights of the Round Table, Josh Mickelson, Dylan Byte, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Clement Chetskoff, Cooper Pilot, aka the Man with Large Balls, Political Puppy, Nick Davis, Ali May, and Alan R., we salute you. And to our many merchants and farmers, you have our undying loyalty.